Okay, everyone, welcome back to Season 4, Round 1 at Spain in a wet race with less than a minute to prepare after qualifying. And lights are wrong direction. It is Senzaka. An unfortunate beginning to his new journey. Grid, as we have Flyer, who also went off track, tumbling to the back of the grid. And the top six, actually as they were, up until Crazy Fox makes an overtake on quite a few drivers to promote himself up to P6. Incredible start for them. As we exit sector 2, seems to be fairly calm start to the race. Outside of the incident to the back. It's not going to be just a little bit slow in the exit, and Heels takes him around the outside to promote himself into P6. And Dex has booked himself a nice margin as lap 1 of 33 of the Spanish Grand Prix has been concluded. As Masaki dives into the pit, I'm not sure if that was for a wing change or a wing adjustment. We'll have to see. Make our way back to the front here. Dex still managing that gap of 2 seconds. Maybe he's lost a tenth or so since we've last seen him. Seems to purchase MJ. Or at least notice him, but popped that earlier. We get to turn 9. Not as easy to find out in the wet. Every single one go off their way. Maybe I'll curse someone. His distance. Better than not making contact with any side of the road. As Dex improves on his opening time. Opening that gap. 2.5 seconds. Is this a difference in setup? Is it a difference in talent? We'll just have to see. As Dex has his teammate Mark to put a bit of pressure on the 16. And they're pulled away from MJ, who's built up a decent margin to Crazy Fox. And as they follow on file, not much in the means of overtaking so far as the drivers settle down. A lot in the first lap, or the first 2 sectors of the first lap. As MJ has gone off track at turn 8 and has dropped from P4 down to P11 outside of the points as we speak. Commentator's curse continues. But his teammate Paulie D can possibly fight the drivers behind and pull him back into it. And we have a yellow flag in sector 1. Bit unsure why. As Dex has improved his gap to the car behind to nearly 4.5 seconds. He's lost some time in it now. And U60's done the same to Mark. So there may have been an incident with Mark and MJ that caused this huge spike of a gap, but we hate to assume. Can only speculate. As the drivers are still in rank and file. as we get halfway through lap 4 of 33. I think Serenity just did a nice overtake, or a beautiful defense, hard to tell through the mist, against MJ, who may have the pace advantage, so if he's not too aggressive, he may just overtake these guys in the pits, may have better tire management. So it's unfortunate mistake, but race is not over. We have some side-by-side action between the Ferrari and the Haas. As he goes wide, not given a lot of room. On turn 13. And Morgan Wolfs has retired from the session with damage, and safety car's out. So the lapped cars, and Murasaki with his 10-second penalty. Or did he get a penalty? Was it a warning? Let's check race director. Okay, there was... Oh, yeah, there was a 5-second penalty. Which was... Was it served? It was served. So Murasaki given a bit of a lifeline. We'll see if the drivers decide to pit onto new wet tires. You only have so many. And this is a fairly early safety car. They'll have to be using their in-game engineer and their most important sense, or two of their most important senses, their butt and their gut. How do you feel in the car? Is it getting worse? Are your lap times similar or worse as you progress to the Grand Prix? As we get Dex slowing down and he decides to box. Will he adjust his downforce, his primary downforce? Will he put on new tires? As U60 decides track position is much more important, and he stays out. Same with Heats, 3-3-1. Stays out to improve. Dr. B as well. This flyer DJ has been given a drive-through to serve for speeding under safety car. Hopefully he does not attempt to serve that while the safety car is out. He will not be happy. Did he get multiple of these penalties? He's received 2 drive-throughs for speeding under safety car. My word. I mean, how many times during a race do you get told, hey man, you're too fast? Not often. But Flyer's been told twice to slow down there, Buckaroo. And once the safety car's in, he will have 2 drive-throughs around one of the longer pit straights on the calendar, besides maybe Bahrain, Imola, Baku. I don't know. Any pit lane is excruciatingly long when you are in there and you don't want to be. That is a fact. As we follow our new leader, U60, who has overtaken without a move. Beautiful. You know, as this was a wet race, there is no mandatory change of compounds. If he can manage his tires, he could stay out to the end. And if he can't, the drivers that did box on lap 5, if they can't take their tires under 25 laps, or roughly 24 or 22 racing laps after the safety car goes in, everyone will have to box. And he'll be scot-free, and he'll have newer tires. They'll all have... Oh no, did Flyer enter the pits? He doesn't know. Oh no. Lawrence Stroll sitting in his helicopter, watching remotely from his yacht, not pleased that the Aston Martins did not inform the driver that, hey, you can't serve your drive-thru under safety car, mate. You cannot. Actually, I was going to say you can't park there. You can park there. Because if you enter the pits, you will be on new tires. So you actually can park there, mate. Very unfortunate. Alright, let's adjust our details here. So yeah, as I was saying, the drivers who decided to stay out, a majority of the grid actually, prioritizing that track position, and others who were just unlucky at the start, Meraki and Northern Wolves, who I may or may not have cursed. I don't think I did. I was spectating his teammate, so it was not my fault. Heard it here first. But yeah, majority of drivers stayed out to prioritize that track position. And Dex, Mark, and Flyer DJ unintentionally are going to have the best tires. As the grid bunches up, safety car dives into the pits at the final corner. Such a weird time. And U60 gets on the throttle on the inside of the final corner. And is back to green flag racing. I think he's going to get close to 200 miles per hour in the wet. 196. As he hits the brakes early. Heeks maintaining his proximity to the car in front. Now, these top four drivers are all on older tires. Can Dex, the former race leader, capitalize on his new tires and his pace advantage as he overtakes Crazy Fox? So that may be a yes. Can he safely navigate past Dr. B and the new Red Bull driver and keep his car in one piece? I'm a bit unsure of what happened to Senzaka there, but once again, he's fallen off the back of the grid. As Golden and Meraki sit roughly 2 seconds away from the points paying position, MJ unable to capitalize back up the grid by staying out because so many other drivers did the same. So just gonna have to do this on merit, or go along again and hope for another safety car, as we already have gaps starting to form from the McLaren in P4, falling away from Dex and the race leaders. This could help the drivers behind that feel like they rightfully own their previous positions. Interesting enough, will they fight fair and square? As we have a yellow in Sector 1, Meraki is not moving, but his car is okay. The driver is okay. So you have Senzaka approaching behind. Meraki getting his bearings with him. Oh. And Golden Sniper as well. And all of a sudden, Paulie D is in 6th position, if he wasn't already. And MJ is in P9. As Crazy Fox has fallen, risen and fallen, all in the same day. Crazy stuff going on. And the leaders have slowed themselves up to allow the McLaren of Dr. B to catch back up to the lead pack. What is going on here? And in less than 2 laps, Dex is leading the Grand Prix again, as if nothing ever happened in the first 5 laps. 60 in P2 and Mark in P3. Yeah, so scratch the first 9 laps. I'll race it for you. The other driver's out of position, but there's still time. As motor moves towards the safety. As now, the drivers outside of the points are pretty far back to be making an advances into the front-end positions. But I believe every driver that's out has a teammate that is eligible, with the exception of Golden Sniper, who has no teammate. So, a bit unfortunate. And of course, Flyer has served both of his drive-throughs, relegated him to Crazy Fox has DNF'd at the final corner. Was it into the entrance of the pits? And we have a second safety car. Hopefully we see no more drive-throughs. I'm curious of how Crazy Fox's race ended. We've had no angry messages in the paddock so far. Everyone has just taken their L's and dipped. So, not much to go from there of what has occurred. And somehow during the safety car, Dex had an 8-second lead. What was I looking at to have missed that? Unless this is a beautiful call from the Mercedes team to give Dex a gap, 2 box. The ultimate sacrifice from the Mercedes driver. But everyone behind has stayed out, so they may see this opportunity to box as well. But Dex will be minimizing. Oh, are these guys racing in their safety car? What is going on? Yeah, so Dex decides to box. Mark stays out. Paulie D stays out. McLaren dives into the pits with the Red Bull. MJ as well. Majority of drivers on the same accord. We'll see if Mersaki decides to dive into the pits. He does. Serenity on new tires, so they've just pit. Flare DJ, he took those tires a bit earlier, but not of his own accord. He thought he was starting a drive-through. And the team turned him into the pits and started touching his car. As some drivers have gone to inters. So have the conditions improved with the race time being extended due to 2 safety cars? Apparently so. So, we'll see who's right. We have a bit of a mixed strategy. With Paulie D staying out on the used wet tires. Mark staying on his slightly used wets. As U60's picking up track limit violations under safety car. Or was that Senzaka? I believe that was Senzaka. Maybe it was a 60. But a majority of the grid going to inters. We'll see who wins the strategy call. The track surface is still damp, obviously. As Mark does dive into the pits, he's going to lose a lot of positions here. We'll see if he goes to the inters. Oh no! He's going to lose so many positions. as a team, as he has to change a wing as well. I didn't notice that he'd suffered enough damage for that. So he'll lose position still. Not time, because we're not under green flag conditions, but that extra 3 seconds probably cost him the position to Masaki, who is into the points now. Golden Sniper as well. And they've overtaken Serenity, who was previously in P10. How does that occur? Why would DJ make his way to the pits? To maybe put on empty tires as well. So the longer the safety car stays out, there's a chance that conditions could improve. At what rate? No clue. As we're on board with our new race leader, Paulie D. As he gets passed by Dex. So maybe he wasn't intended to be the race leader. Interesting. So we'll see if the safety car dives into the pits at the last corner like it did last time. Nope. Looping around once again. Another lap on the safety car. These drivers spreading debris when they explode on contact with Minecraft death animation. Just content spill out of the car. Oh. And we see some gauntlets being thrown in the paddock in the team radio transcript. As drivers are asking, what manner of depravity did I just see in that previous lap? As that was how Dex took the lead under safety car. Under apparently dodgy strategy. So, we'll see what effect that has. To be fair, I'm not sure how long Paulie could have defended that. Excuse me. With 13-month-old vets on a possibly enters level track, as a safety car is announced to be in this lap. So to dive into the pits in about 3 corners time, as we get throttle cut on all the drivers. Feature of the game. Game of the year. And safety car is out of sight. Dive into the pits, and now it is up to Dex to restart whenever he wants. But if he goes full throttle, he must maintain it. Up to 80%. And it is green flags, as he's already built a 1 second gap to Paulie D, who is getting overtaken by 60. So how many positions can Paulie D salvage on these old tires? As we have MJ again getting caught up in the melee of battle, of car battle, tumbling down the order. And we have Serenity into the pits, I'm assuming to clear their penalty that they may have gained. And we have Dexter leading the race, as Mark gains a 3-second time penalty. So after extending those wets and having to put in their safety car, he's only lost about 4 positions. So it could have been much worse. But Paulie D has gone from race leader to P2 down to P7 with old wet tires. We'll see how he manages to hold on there. And once again, our final point scores have changed. With Flyer DJ, just a chill guy in P10, holding off race director, owner, the Godfather, MJW 28. As conditions must be improving, as Dex has set the fastest lap of the race. But improving at what rate? When will the X-Wets, as drivers in real life would call them, when will they become obsolete? When will they start to gain too much temperature and become undrivable? And the same with the inters. Or will this rain be persistent throughout? As Paulie D enters the pits, but now he's 20 seconds away from the nearest car in either direction. So, drastic turn of events there. He'll need a third safety car, unless he can take his enters to the end. With 17 racing laps remaining in the Spanish Grand Prix. Yellow flag in Sector 2, as Meraki is facing the wrong way, and he rejoins. So, incredible potential, but events not unfolding the way that he planned once this Grand Prix started. I mean, from what I could tell, there was less than a minute of preparation from jaws dropping of the drivers when they saw that it went from a dry qualifying to a torrential downpour of rain. And within less than a minute, with park friendly enabled, I'm quite sure, within 60 seconds, we were starting the Grand Prix. So, I highly doubt every driver was able to adjust fuel, adjust their front wing, adjust tire pressures, debate on strategy, all in less than a minute. I highly doubt it. It's a lot of bandwidth in such a short amount of time. As we go to our new race leader, U60, who has most likely chosen the right compound for the current conditions, with a 2-second lead over Dex. Who's going to need his teammate Mark to dispatch of that Red Bull driver. As Mark again goes into the pits. Does he have damage again? Or no, this is... okay. My apologies. This is Dex diving into the pits. But under racing conditions. So now he's relegated himself to the back of the grid, and he's still on wet tires. What has happened here? He's replaced a wing. Let's review the pit stops here, just to verify. So he hasn't replaced a wing. He just switched from his very used wets to his slightly used wets. And now the race leader, or former race leader, is now relegated to P10 on a risky call that puts him on par and not at any advantage to the drivers ahead. Could be detrimental to his chance at a podium or a race win, as U60 still built his lead. Mark with a penalty with 3 seconds at least. As we enter lap 19 of 33. 14 race laps remaining. with Sinzaka making a decent recovery through the field after a tricky start, to say the least. Masaki not as fortunate to recover to the field. MJ has made multiple recoveries up to decent positions, and then something happens, and he's off track, tumbling down the order. But let's hope he can stay on track this time and finish where he deserves. As Masaki sets the fastest lap for the Grand Prix, and Sniper picks up a track limits penalty after his third one. This track is difficult enough in the dry, so I could only imagine how hard it must be to manage this on the wet in non-ideal setups, you know. I'm not sure how many drivers compromised their setups if they expected these mixed conditions. But the only mix has been from very wet to regular wet. There's no telling what could happen in the next 13 laps if this rain maintains, fizzles out, or increases. As we have Dex making an overtake on, or as Dr. B enters the pits, so Dex overtakes him that way into P9. Not the P1 that he wanted, but... And pitter patter, the Soul Haas. Now, was it he or Noble Morse that crashed in qualifying? I'll have to check the grid. As Masaki sets another fastest lap of the race, letting people know that his position is not representative of his potential. As U60's lead has dwindled from nearly 3 seconds a few laps ago to less than 2/10 in it, but Mark has little to no battery remaining, and U6 has stockpiled it as he's noticed his lead dwindle lap after lap, with Mark catching him at least 6/10 a lap while we've been away looking at other drivers. But Mark will be pretty soon, if he goes below 10% of his car derating, so he'll have less performance. And if he gets the overtake done, it may not last for long. But for now, they've kept it clean. It's not easy to follow around the circuit, but they've managed it. But then, like I said, Mark has a 3-second time penalty. So if the overtake's done, he still has to get on down the road to make the overtake stick. As Hiex fills the last podium position with nearly 3 seconds to pitter-patter. And Suzuka's made his way to P5 and MJ in P6. Again, beautiful recovery. Many drivers would have, and I've seen it, many drivers suffer an incident on lap 1. They didn't even get to lap 2. They take it to the pits. They pack up the car. They take their ball and go home. This Flyer DJ gets another penalty, but he's in P7. So who cares about the penalty? The closest driver to him also has penalties of his own. And Dex is nearly 18 seconds away on the wrong compound of tires as he goes into the pits again. Will it be enters this time? It is enters. But now Dex is out of the points. 2 cars in front. And Misaki again sets the fast lap for Grand Prix and overtakes Dex on the pit. So it won't be easy for Dex to claw his way back up. with Winston position. Misaki is not an easy opponent. Never surrendered. A lot of pace. Paulie D, former race leader. Under safety car conditions. Golden Sniper. Experienced racer. Having a quiet but solid race. In the season for the races. Deepen. It's so bad. It's so bad. In no man's land, but he'll definitely take a P7. Just have to bring it on. And in that time, I've missed Mark make the overtake on 60 for the lead. And there's a 2-second gap. But as long as U60 can remain within 3 seconds, as Misaki again sets another fastest lap of the race. As long as he can remain within 3 seconds, the win is his. But Mark has 1 lap fresher tires, and he is motivated. And he looks to be increasing that gap. Oh! A lot of confidence around turn 13, a bit too much. But he didn't lose time. In fact, he gained. But U60's burning down the straight. And Mark is balancing that small margin of derating, making his car essentially a junior formula car, as long as he can maintain it over 10%. U60 pushing to maintain that within 3 seconds delta. As of now, he's out of it. As of right now, Mark is your provisional race winner. In before a curse. Misaki again. Another fastest lap of the race. If this was Brazil, we'd think he was a different Red Bull driver. This shows that if he was up the order, he may have been contending for the lead. Managing these conditions beautifully, but everything else seems to not have gone his way. And Mark again extending his lead. Is he diving into the pit? Oh, okay. That scared me. Into 4 seconds, we'll see if U60 can make a last minute push, or if he'll just resign himself to P2. It's not going to be the battle for P5. This will come back and then it's done. Given we spent early we got it. He's almost falling behind by almost 1 second. That's what he's saying, fall to the ground. He wants to catch up the end of forward. But he wants a bit of confidence in the car. It could happen to him. Or it could mean that Marcus is doing an exceptional job with the code he's been given. This is a really small margin of the main driver. Doing about 10%. I'm not taking it anymore. Oh, he's burning people at time. Let's see this as a huge threat. Because we only got to 187 on the stage. From 66 to 190. They give another car off, and it's Misaki again. After setting nearly 12 fastest laps of the race, he's off track again. End plate's intact, rather. No holds in the side pods, but is it a loss of confidence in the car? Is it just, lack of time on the game? I know he's an avid F124 enjoyer, but F123 is a different beast in its own right, as Mark extends his lead to nearly 7 seconds. Incredible work from the Mercedes driver on his new team. As pitter-patter approaches, Hicks with 7 or 8 racing laps to go, there's a chance he could fight for the podium position. But Hicks is sitting on 100% battery. Basically saying, come at me, bro. He is ready. As he burns it down the straight. Reaching speeds of nearly 195 miles an hour. So pitter-patter is nearly 200. My goodness. Oh, this is a nice camera angle to turn for. Just had to point that out. As again, Mark extends his lead to over 8 seconds. So, I think it's safe to say that U60 has been driving well, but at this stage in the Grand Prix, Marcus has driven better. And that's okay. That is okay. And Masaki picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane, as he fits on the medium compound tires, the C2s. A bit late in this Grand Prix to make any crazy sacrifice. Driving the top speed now, there's tire change first. Try another left spot. Minimum corner sheets, not special tires. Moving down in the straight. The two-second minute freedom as he attempts to close the gap down to the the first car side, we don't have a battle for P2 and a battle for P3 as MJ attempts to close down to Pitter-patter. But as we've seen, Pitter-patter is driving a rocket ship, able to reach maybe 200 on the plate without DRS on the main straight for the next 10 minutes. He's missed a little spoiler on the exit of turn 10, turn 11, allowing MJ to fall into his provisional DRS lane, get the way to be enabled by race control. But as you can see, he's still losing time with Pitter-patter and that absolute rocket ship. Without spoiling the results from the rocket and a little bit at this stage in the Grand Prix. And race control has enabled DRS. Maybe I'm noticing this. Masaki is the left car. I think it's still possible to take another lap or two to get a more serious performance going. Risky call. Not enough time. Finish afternoon. But if we didn't have 2 safety cars, 3 laps and 4 laps, the race would have carried on under wet and enters conditions rather than less enters dry. So this could have changed the complexion of the whole race, as the previous race leaders and P10 and P11. How things can change. Mark continues to build up on his lead. MJ has been passed by his teammate, unwrapping himself on the medium compound, which now seems to have the advantage compared to the intermediates. Spitter goes to the spots. I don't think he's gonna make up 15 seconds. But crazy things have happened. But he's racing against time now, not just the progress. And Dex did as well. So some interesting calls here. As Mark pits, were the tires that bad? So now U60 leads the Grand Prix. The tire is so warm that it was obligatory to pit. But then these drivers hold on. He started at the front. U60 huge for MJ. 19 laps. 18 new tires. Mark. Just within 7 seconds of leading with a 3-second penalty. So he's going to need to improve his pace by 10 seconds within the next 3 racing laps to have a chance at the win. Dex is still 11 seconds from the nearest player. And he is moving his Grand Prix to the outside of the points. This one heck of a race. Sorry, DJ in P6, man. Really beautiful stuff. Back again. Nice recovery. Misaki. Another penalty into the pit lane. Makes his another pit stop. As Mark has done MJ on the soft tires. That's going to make up 5 seconds within 2 laps. And then another 3 seconds once he gets past. DRS is enabled. He's on the better compound tire. If he's going on the outside. Oh my! And he sponsors him wide. We need a review. But that is definitely ruined Mark's chance of the race winning. He lost time and he lost race place. Lost drive. Very risky to take that time for running outside there. And now it looks like U16 could be safe. We're finishing the penultimate lap and we're rounding the corner to start the final lap. That's a season 4. Cup 3, Grand Prix. Mark overtakes MJW again. And he has a puncture. Gates with a puncture. On his front light. I wonder how that happened. How far can he manage? On 3 tires. And Mark has no battery to take advantage of his flush compound, but he gets things done easily on the 60. But can he build up 3 seconds in 2 sectors? Okay. We have some traction zones approaching and some low speed corners, and then the high speed corner. Within one sector, he's already at 2.5 seconds. It's possible that Mark could win this race after being pushed off track with just one lap ago. And as he rounds the penultimate corner and the final corner, if he can keep it together, Mark Diaz, on his Mercedes debut, wins the Spanish Grand Prix. And we have U60 and NGW across the line. Less than a 10th minute. Tim Barca promotes to P out with the penalty, relegated to P5. But apparently P4 could be valuable points after his teammate did not finish the race. And that, unable to get the race win that his teammate did, gets back into the points to P7. And race leader, temporarily, Ollie B. P8. With final point scores, Flyer DJ, caught out by the strategy calls, relegated from P6 down to P9, but still solid performance, bringing home points for Aston Martin team when Serenity was unable to do so. Only so many positions. Not everyone can score unless the point format is adjusted. But wow. Well. Mixed conditions. A interesting qualifying session, at least the final 2 minutes. And a incredible wet to enter to dry race with your winner, Mark. Pumping the trophy in the air. How can you hold that with one hand? I don't want to know. And he gets sprayed in the face by MJ. Oh my god. Well, if I didn't know any better, I think this was Brazil. But it's not. This is Barcelona, baby. And that'll do it. We'll review our total race time of 51 minutes. Oh, come on, penalties, come on. Review our total race time of 51 minutes and 48 seconds after 2 safety cars, 2 DNFs, contact, spins, questionable overtakes, some thrown elbows on the defenses, nearly 30 incidents. Well, that'll do it for me. Like I said, I'm your host, Graham Davis, bringing you Season 4, Round 1 of the Spanish Grand Prix. Brought to you by EA Sports, Codemasters, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo Switch, and others. My thanks to anyone who watches, and I'll see you on the next broadcast.